Yeah, hi everyone. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, depending where you're watching me from. I want to welcome you again once more to Aigbedo Talk Show. This is a place where we talk about different topics. Here we rub our minds, we dive into different topics that are trending. It's very good for everyone to know what is going on around him or her, to know what is actually happening on ground, and to follow up. So that is just the purpose of this talk show. If you have not subscribed to my YouTube channel, please do so and subscribe. And don't forget to to give me some likes as well. So I will be very grateful for that. Last time, my last video, I talked about Boris Johnson, who is the current Prime Minister of Britain. And, it's just about what is currently involved in. It is alleged that he lied to the House of Parliament and to the British people concerning the issue of COVID-19 restrictions. When there was in 2020 there was a sort of a lockdown, and people were not allowed to come out. And Boris Johnson, he is the Prime Minister, and he was the one that made the rule. And obviously, people are now saying that he broke the rule. And he also admitted that he had a party. That is what actually happened. Anyway, today I'm not going to talk about Boris Johnson, the Prime Minister of Britain. I'm not going to talk about him. I'm going to talk about a different subject. And this subject is about Vladimir Putin, the president of Russia. We are aware of what is trending in Russia right now between Russia and Ukraine. The build-up of a Russia military arsenal across the border of Ukraine, and even in Belarus. That the Russians are having more than 100,000 troops lined up in Ukraine, preparing to attack Ukraine. And what is Russia saying? Russia is saying that they don't have any plan to attack Ukraine. And this cannot be true, because even when everyone will easily deduce that there's going to be an attack. The attack is very imminent, because it cannot be that you are, flexing your muscles, building up driving all your military vehicles over there, and you are facing Ukraine, and you are telling the world that you are not prepared for any attack. What else are you prepared for? What is your motion? What is your motive? What is your motive? What are you doing there if you don't want to attack Ukraine? What are your military aircraft doing there in Belarus? Why are they training? Why are they using there as a training ground? So I think Russia is trying to deceive the world. And last time, 2014, they just took over Crimea, which is part of Ukraine. And this they did peacefully, and they were not questioned, because they have the might, the military might in the east. Russia is one of the greatest countries that disintegrated from the old Soviet Union, and Russia is also it's a superpower. It's got nuclear weapon as well. So it's the largest country in that old Soviet Union bloc. And because of this, I think they are using this opportunity, this yardstick, to just flex their muzzle on other smaller countries like Ukraine. This is something that the world cannot really accept. It depends, because look at it, it's so preposterous. How could someone just come up one day and say they want to deal with a sovereign nation like Ukraine? This is something that is not tenable. Many people can't agree with Russia with what they are doing. Let me just say little things about Russia president. Russia president, I think Vladimir Putin was born in 1952 and in Moscow, St. Petersburg in Moscow. And he's a great politician. He's a great Russian politician. He's well known. He first became the president of Russia in 2000, in the year 2000 after Boris Yeltsin. And I think he was there for 2 terms, 2000 to 2008. And thereafter, 2008 to 2012, he was the prime minister, just hanging over. And after that, from 2012, he then became again the president of Russia. He's a mighty man. He's from intelligence officer, Crimea. You know, he's a mighty man. He's well respected as well. But with what is trending, with what is currently happening in Ukraine, people cannot actually trust Boris Johnson. I mean, sorry, people cannot actually trust Vladimir Putin from what he's doing. You can't just wake up and say you want to just eliminate or you want to attack a sovereign nation, a nation that is independent. So how do we find ourselves here? What is the demand of Russia? If I may come from there, Russia is demanding that Ukraine should never be a part of NATO and should never be a member of the EU. Russia, Ukraine is more affiliated to Russia than EU. And because many of the population, they speak Russia as well, so culturally they are so affiliated, they should just be part of Russia. They should be sort of, they should have a special status, to Russia and not the state or not a country of our own. But this is something, this is not acceptable in this 21st century. It cannot be allowed because they are already a sovereign nation and they have the choice to walk towards the West or walk towards Russia. So this is not the decision that, to me, it's not a decision that Russia should make for Ukraine. So this is not, this is of course this is what Russia is saying. This is what their argument is. But to the West, on the other hand, they cannot fold their hands. Mostly NATO, which America is a part of them, even Canada is a part of NATO. So they cannot just fold their hands. EU is made up of 27 countries. They cannot fold up their hands and begin to look at Russia attacking or preparing a grand war in Ukraine because they don't want Ukraine to be part of NATO. They want the Ukraine to be part of EU. So I know that Russia will not stop there. If they are allowed to attack Ukraine just like that, they will definitely move further to claim other the Soviet territories that broke away from the old Soviet Union, like Belarus, like Latvia, Lithuania, and all other countries that broke away from the old Soviet Union. They will want to go further and claim them. So this one should not be, the West shouldn't give into this because this threat from Russia is something that is not tenable. It is not allowed in this 20th or 21st century. If Russia want to actually have a dialogue, then that would be the best thing, because I know that the recent meeting with the foreign secretary of the U.S., where Russia made a lot of demands. Their demands is that the territory should go back to the 1997 territory. That is of the way that how this bloc has been before them, because they were not members of EU, they were not members of NATO. So how can you rewrite the history? You can't rewrite history. It is not possible to rewrite history. That all these blocks like Poland, Romania, Latvia, Lithuania, Belarus, all of them should be, they should retrieve their membership from EU or they should retrieve their membership from NATO. This one is not possible. So I don't know where Russia is and the way they are trying to say this. They're trying to see this from a very rollback perspective, which many people will not agree. I know that there was a shipment of about 90 tons of ammunition to Kiev yesterday by the US. And the US has also vowed to help assist Ukraine in their military equipment. I know that last year in December, President Biden has vowed to assist Russia with almost 200 million, to help them in their military assistance, as I know. So I think the EU and UK and other nearby countries, they have to also make their own contribution to make sure that they don't give Russia an easy win over Ukraine. This is very, very important because Russia, with the way Russia is standing, they are ready to claim all these other countries apart from Ukraine. Last time they easily went into, that was 2014, they easily went into Crimea, which is part of Ukraine, and they took it over. And then no one really asked them. And after that, there was even a peace treaty that they are not going to do anything, they are going to respect the sovereignty of Ukraine, but they are not doing that. They're not doing that now. Instead, there are Russian separatists in Ukraine, and they are fighting the government of Ukraine. Because Russia will say that because they are pro-president, before that 2014 was deposed by the Ukrainian, and because of that, that is why they just went into Crimea to annex Crimea. But they should be okay with that because they have Crimea now. But why are they going to this thing again? Anyway, if you like what we are seeing, if you like my video, don't waver to subscribe and to give me some likes. So I will appreciate that. And this show, as I said before, this is Aigbedo show, Aigbedo talk show, and I will be coming out with some of these new topics that are trending. And we're going to be discussing these topics and brainstorming over these topics. And if you do not, I know that many of you, some people will not agree with me, with my points. But if you don't agree, we are here to also disagree to agree, or agree to disagree, whichever. So just give your comments. I will also respond then as soon as possible. So on the part of Russia, I know that they are afraid that if Ukraine ever becomes a part of NATO or part of EU, that the EU will now begin, NATO they will station their ammunition there, begin to pry on Moscow, or it will be a threat to them. Definitely, of course, to people in Russia, they may take this from Putin as an excuse, as a yardstick. But of course, it's threatening if Ukraine is a part of NATO, because the boundary is not just in the house of Putin. But that does not grant Putin the yardstick. It doesn't give him the prerogative to attack Ukraine in any means. You can't just be planning a grand war against a sovereign country. This is never done. I know that other countries like Germany, Finland, Sweden, UK, and other EU members, they are also against this attack. But to them, they've got their own problem. Like the EU, they have their own problem. At the moment, they don't have EU army. They don't have EU soldiers, and Italy is not prepared. Some of these other countries are not prepared. Germany, they just did their election with 3 coalition parties forming the government together, so they've got their problem as well. France is preparing for election, I think in April, President Macron. So I don't think they've got this problem to fight this war. And not only that, with the current pandemic that is affecting many of these countries. So people are still struggling to get their population vaccinated. So they are not through with with the vaccination of their population now, so that they can really have a peace from the Omicron and all these Delta variant that are plaguing all these countries. So this is not, to me, this is not the right time for Putin to be doing this at all, because the best thing is just to come to dialogue with other countries, so that this thing can be resolved peacefully. Because nothing is better resolved by war. Because with the drum of war that is banging, if care is not taken, this might lead to a third world war. The way I'm saying it, because with all this demise that all this Ukraine should never be a part of NATO, and they should, all those members that accepted NATO or EU membership since 1997, NATO should withdraw their membership. So how could this one be done? It can't be. It can't happen. It can't happen. These are something that these demands are inconceivable. They are something that you can't. You can't. It can't be met by anybody. There's no one that can. There's no party that can meet this. And Russia is now hanging on this promise, looking for a sort of written agreement from US to give them this assurance. Who is going to give them this assurance? So which means Russia, by all means, they are ready for war. I think that is the way it is. That is the way it is. That's the way I'm saying it. Anyway, if you, as I said before, if you like what you are hearing, don't hesitate to like my video, and so do subscribe as well. You are listening to Aigbedo Talk Show, and I hope you are enjoying it. So that is it for now. This is just the first part of this this issue between Russia and Ukraine. This crisis is just the first part of it. So it's a trending issue. So the second part will come out as soon as things change, because everything is very volatile now. Everything is very dynamic. Anything can happen tomorrow. Russia might be invading. Before we wake up, Russia might be invading Ukraine. So we don't know their plan. We don't know their intention. So it's only Russia that knows what they want to do. So that is it for today, and I thank you for listening to Aigbedo Talk Show again. Thank you very much. Bye.